run it up, run it up, run it up.
Hi, I'm Jeannie.
And I'm Joe, and we're co-owners of Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Homemade Ice Cream. Been in Omaha since 1986. Originally from Omaha. We grew up on 97th and Maple, so just west of Benson here. We spent a lot of time with our family doing activities down in the old market and here in Benson.
Yeah, I went to Central for high school, and you went to...
Went to Burke and then Northwest. We both graduated at UNO.
I like doing art, and I am really into genealogy. I do a lot of research and genealogy trips.
Yeah, I think I'm doing home repair right now, and in the summertime, go sailing.
That was Dean and them being up on the East Coast, and they saw like the kind of the New York style ice cream. It's very more higher premium, and they wanted to do something like that. And plus, they're antique collectors. Dean and David and all those guys. Yeah, the whole family there. So their whole house is just filled with like lots of fun antiques. So I think that was a lot of it too, between getting the old-fashioned ice cream machines, because it's hard to get that kind of ice cream. It's a certain kind of texture. It's made a certain way. So there's not many places you can get like that really old-fashioned, really unique ice cream anymore. So, but it's fun though. We have a lot of times we have people come in from like the East Coast, and older folks who remember ice cream being made with rock salt and ice and that flavor and that. And for us too, that's a lot of what we grew up on with my dad making. He made ice cream this way, and so that's the kind of ice cream I like. So. I was working one day, and they had been talking about wanting to retire and wanting to sell it, and I had heard about that there was some guy from out of state that was interested in buying it, who had a franchise. I forget what it was, but it was something with donuts. And I just didn't want this to turn into that, because it was a lot of just love working for them, and they're a really cool family, and just the culture, and even like the old market at that time and everything. So I called Joe. He was at school in Lincoln, and I'm like, I know this sounds crazy, but do you want to try to, work something out? Like, maybe we can buy it. And so that's what we did. They were Leave It to Beaver fans, so it was, and then plus it was, part of there was Theodore and Dean Wallace, is that? Yeah. So it was Ted and Wally. So yeah, they kind of were playing out on their names, and then they were Leave It to Beaver fans. I think it's a mixture. I mean, I think for both of us, we really wanted to, keep it the way that it was, keep the business going as a family-owned business.
Yeah, for me it was a job I enjoyed, so kind of hung around and liked it. So I had kind of a string of jobs where I was working and then it would suddenly quit because I didn't like the job anymore. And this was a job that I didn't want to quit. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think when I was little too, that's something that I remember, is that I would often, because our mom was really, both of our parents, they had an organic garden. We got everything from farm. It was a lot of health food, not much sugar. So the only time we really got ice cream is when my dad made it, when he, make it, that was a real special treat. And so I remember that when I was little, that was my most common prayer, that I could eat as much ice cream as I wanted when I got bigger. And actually, I was like, that kind of worked out. So I think it's something, but yeah, since doing it, it's just become more and more a real passion. Like I really love making ice cream. Since we've bought it, we've started making everything completely from scratch, added more things like like doing the vegan ice cream, the low sugar keto, all of those are things that we added. But yeah, I mean, since we started doing developing all the bases, so we did everything from scratch. And we started with like a little tiny recipe box that had about 120 flavors originally, and now there's about 3,000 flavors. So we've added a lot of flavors over the years too.
Yep.
So it's fun. I mean, I can't complain. It's the best job in the world.
First primary goal when we first bought the shop was to get it moved because on our old location, the landlord was going to renovate the building and we were going to be closed for a couple of years, and that was going to work out. So we ended up finding a gas station on 12th and Jackson that we renovated and moved into, and then later on we found the one in Benson. There was an old gas station that we renovated, so that became our second location.
And from there, I think it was, with ice cream itself, we started making everything from scratch. So we went from 14 to 18% butterfat. So we are ultra premium. So we're one of the highest butterfat in the country. We also kind of took from our own background. So we always locally sourced most of our ingredients. We've also developed other things like a low sugar keto ice cream. We do like vegan and paleo, and we just had a lot of fun with it. When we first started, we just had they had one of those little recipe boxes with about 125 recipes, and now we have about 3,000 and growing. And we're always looking to improve. Just having fun with it, finding new ways to innovate, and I think that's been where a lot of our focus has been. Also doing things with the community. We used to have rock shows, but we have art shows, and we try to do things with different charities, and those are things that we're passionate about. And we've always tried to incorporate that into what we do.
Yep.
In the beginning, I think that the previous owners helped us a lot with getting up and getting started, how to do the taxes, how to, how to do payroll, how to, and for making ice cream and stuff like that too. I mean, that's where it got the start, and then since then, I mean, I guess we collaborate with a lot of other local businesses. I mean, we get a lot of our baked goods from several different bakeries, and so sometimes we work with other people, something that they make that we really, really like, I'll work with it to develop a flavor based on that. So we've got M's Pub carrot cake, we work with Sophia Black Bottom Biscotti. She makes a lot of wonderful stuff like the funnel cake. Culprit Cafe, got great donuts we love working with. We just have a lot of fun working with different people. A lot of the farmers too over the years, our maple syrup, it's all about bees. We use their honeycomb and bee pollen, and so I think a lot of it, a lot of the way that the direction that we have gone has been based on working with other people and other small businesses. You know what? I would say no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we love working with other businesses, a lot of people that really admire, but I think that's been for both of us. We've talked about it before, coming up with innovative flavors before that was really a trend, starting doing, a lot of those kind of things, it was kind of born out of just the actual relationships we have and the things that we're actually passionate about with flavors. It's making things that we really like ourselves, and I think it's not looking at what other people, especially what other ice cream stores are doing. Like I said, even with our bases, when I started developing the new bases, I couldn't use a recipe because it wouldn't work in the old-fashioned machines anyway, so had to do it from pretty much trial and error and doing it our own way. There wasn't really anything, there wasn't any other place doing ultra premium ice cream anyway, So, and that was like something that I missed. I really wanted to have that really like heavy, thick, super creamy ice cream, you know. And then I think the same thing with like doing the low sugar keto. There wasn't any place to go out and buy like a low sugar recipe, low sugar ice cream that didn't taste like chemicals and wasn't kind of icy. And so that took me about 6 years to develop that one. But yeah, it was like not really trying to copy other people. It's kind of...
Yeah, I think we've always just done our own thing. And I just have felt like we just want to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know? Same thing with our employees. You know, it's kind of our thing was always treating our employees the same way we wanted to be treated when we worked at places. So, you know, it's kind of, I think, just doing our own thing and having our own beliefs and wanting to follow in on that.
Yeah, because I think, well, one thing too, if like you're doing, probably I imagine anything from scratch, but definitely with ice cream, if you're making it from scratch and doing it the way we do it, you're not going to become rich. I mean, it's not, I mean, you can't be really doing this for the money. I mean, you can't, because it's, you have to have competitive prices to other places, but it costs way more to make it this way. It's very, very labor intensive. We use really high quality ingredients. So you really got to do it for the love of it, you know, for, you know, you have to be passionate about it. And yeah, so I think if we were looking at a lot of the other places that are, you know, a lot of the chain places, they are very profit focused, and I don't know, we kind of have to let that go. And you want to have a successful business, obviously. You want to be able to pay. I mean, it is important to us to pay our employees well and to have take good care of them. And but we also want to have a really high quality product for our customers. I always think about like make it the way that we really, really like it, and then hopefully there'll be other people that like it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think greatest challenges were at the beginning when we started out buying the business. I was 24, Jeannie was 28. We didn't have any business background, so when we went to conventional banks for a loan, we were denied because we just didn't look good on paper. And so we got financing from the previous owners. They basically financed the sale of their own business. So we paid them interest on a 5-year note, but that got us in the door of owning the business. And then the second challenge was moving the business to where it was, because at that time it was very much, the old market was Howard Street between 14th and 10th Street, and so we were going one block south on the 12th of Jackson, and so that was pretty scary at the time. We weren't sure if people were going to make it around the corner or not, but they did, and now the old market is flourishing to the south. You know, along Jones Street and down to Leavenworth, you have Connecco and the Bemis, Boiler Room. So all that space that seemed like nothing could happen, it did happen. Then the same thing with going north, starting to connect with North Downtown, you know, by way of the Capital District and other things like that. And then the next challenge was doing our Benson location, because since we're a small business, we don't have a whole lot of cash on hand. We can't make really big loans, so we had to do this kind of a two-part process where we had to buy the building first and pay the building down so we could use it as leverage for the loan to renovate the building. So it turned into about a 4-year process from where we bought it and to where we started construction and finished and got the doors open.
Well, we have like an old-fashioned soda fountain, so we do like sundaes and malts. We do phosphates, and then, you know, ice cream. We do our ultra super premium ice cream. You know, it's 18% butterfat is our main, and then we do sherbet, sorbet, paleo, vegan, low sugar keto. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Yogurt, frozen yogurt. I mean, all those we do from scratch. We locally source almost all of our ingredients. It's all natural. We don't use all the fillers that a lot, you know, are really common, you know, to kind of to make it taste like it has a high butterfat count. And
yeah, we've had some t-shirts too.
Yeah, it's all the t-shirts.
I think our position with our product is that it's ultra premium homemade ice cream, so it's 18%. So we're in a different category than like your soft serve or your frozen yogurt companies. And I think our position is the highest quality you can get in town. Just with our process for making it from scratch and the high quality ingredients that we purchase. It gets us voted number one in multiple categories throughout city voting, and so that makes us stand out as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of really great local ice cream places here. I mean, I go to some of them. Well, I think what we do is, it is unique. We do the old-fashioned antique machines, which that affects like it has an actual really authentic old-fashioned kind of like texture and taste to it. And I think doing the ultra premium is like 12 to 14, and then super premium's like 14 to 16%, and we're 18%, so we're ultra premium, which is there's only a few places in the country you can get that high of butterfat, and it's more expensive to make, and it's I think also just focusing on like how we locally source so many things. We've tried to always be in our own way innovative with flavors, and I think that's kind of different. I mean, I know we have always had flavors that you can't get anywhere else, and I hope that that'll continue, even though, there's a lot of those things we started out that are trending now, it's just kind of funny because neither one of us are marketing background, and so we were kind of like late to the, we were locally sourcing, getting a lot of things from farmers, even making things from scratch. I think when we started making everything switched to making everything from scratch when we bought it, we didn't really advertise that or market it, and so I mean, just over time it's just kind of funny because we had a lot of people that like, oh, I didn't know that I didn't know you got local, used real maple syrup for all this, or it's just I didn't know that all the so we've been trying to do that more too, just because we do buy from a lot of other bakeries and farmers and things like that, so we've been trying to be better about cross-promoting them too, to because we appreciate all the stuff that they give for us too, so.
I think it's kind of each year kind of brings something different. You're always you have things that are out of our control, or like the weather, so you might end up with a really rainy spring and your budget might be different than it was the year before, or you have a really mild winter and you have a little more cash in your budget. So we try to kind of, with the age of our business, is keep up with maintenance, because we'll have some really old freezers that we have to swap out, so that becomes like a $7,000 investment that you have to depreciate over time. But I think just keeping changing and doing what we want to do is kind of what drives us as far as what we're going to do with the budget. So
yeah, I think it's always a balance, or the things, or the priorities that we have. Like I said, like taking care of our employees is one of the top priorities, and then having our ice cream be high quality. We don't want to start making our ice cream lower quality to but I think it is just, you kind of have to have those top priorities in sight, and then kind of deal with all the stuff that you're not expecting to come through, so yeah.
So advertising, we do, we've advertised with Reader for a long time. We do some World Herald advertising here and there, kind of like for special events. And then we do different advertising with like the Children's Museum, the Community Playhouse, things like that. We do a lot of donations as well. So when people come to us and ask for raffle donations for their fundraisers, we'll donate to that, and I see that as kind of a facet of advertising, because you'll be in their brochure book, and you'll also be on their table, or a gift basket for a date night out. So I think that stretches really far. we've done some TV advertising. It gets pretty expensive, but we do sometimes channels will offer group buys. So we just did one recently. It was a shop local campaign for last Christmas, and they got multiple businesses, and so you'd have a small short, but with all the businesses buying in, it made the ad time a lot cheaper, so it worked out for us. And then more now, we're kind of doing the social media advertising, and Jeannie knows a little more on that.
Yeah, I don't know how much I know. We try to just have fun with it. I mean, that's just been, try to get inspired by different things with, the employees or different flavors. So, and I like interacting with customers too. I mean, I guess secretly for me, the Instagram, I just like everybody's like cats and dogs and kids, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think with the social media, it's cost-wise, you get a lot more out of it because you can't do posts for free, and if it takes off, then it's good. And then if you're putting money behind it, it's not a whole lot of money, so it's less than television advertising, less than radio advertising, and you can kind of see what your analytics are as far as your reach compared to. With the radio advertisement, it goes out, you don't really know if somebody was tuned into the station at the time or not.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's also just for us, we're not looking at expanding and becoming a big ice cream empire. We're not planning on ever, shipping or doing anything. I think the amount of flavors that we have and all of that, we would just be like the most unfranchisable business ever. So, I mean, I think that's kind of affects a lot of it too, our choices with that. We're not really concerned about being on national anything, or I don't know.
All right, I think next for Ted Wally's is just getting our 2 locations to run more seamlessly. Kind of starting out a few years ago when we got the second location, we kind of had inventory and staffing expenses that might have been a little more than we needed, so we've gotten that kind of pared down. So we've adjusted to having a second location, and so I think in the future, as of today moving forward, it's just getting things to run more smoothly between the two, and just keep doing what we do better.
Yeah, I think for me, with developing flavors and things like that in the menu, we've added several new things. We have the Grand Patisserie makes us twill that we use for ice cream tacos, and we have hot caramel that is made by Snowshoe Caramel Company, so it's local and just really delicious. Improving our dark chocolate using a sweet minnow, and they're vegan. I've been working on that. I think it's a million times better than it was even 6 months ago. So I guess for me, it's always just kind of as new inspiration comes up, and keep working with things to always just improving and innovating. I think is the main thing. Find something that you really love doing. I think would be starting off and start out small.
Yeah, start small and build up. Don't build your dream on the first day. Work towards it. Because we kept in our history, when we did the shop downtown, we had multiple things that we didn't get done after a few years. So we knew what we wanted, but we only had the funds for so much. And we've been really careful about not carrying debt. So we kind of want to pay for things and have it taken care of. So
yeah. And I think having that allows you to keep your independence too, where you can have your own kind of creativity and your own kind of, if that's the reason there's people that, which I think both are all right. There's people that go into business and are looking for some angel investor, and they really just want to, they're in it to make money and then sell off. And then I think there's other people like for us where it's the actual business itself that you have a really passion and a love for that, and you want to build that. And if you want to have that kind of independence where you can have your own kind of creativity, I think that it's extremely important, staying within your means. And
stay within your means.
Yeah. Have fun, but stay within your means. Yeah.
I think our business in Omaha, it's definitely something that Omaha is known for, is having us. We are kind of a tourist destination in the old market, and we're also a multi-family generational location. So we have a lot of people that come when they were kids, their parents brought them, and then later on they go on a first date. Sometimes they have an engagement at Ted Wally's, and then they'll come through on ollie the trolley and take photos of their wedding party at the shop.
That's always a big honor when that happens. I'm always like, oh.
yeah. So I think it's just a really important part of Omaha and the people of Omaha and their lives. It's definitely bigger than Jeannie and I. I feel like we're just kind of caretakers of it for this time. And it's really more about everybody else, the people that have worked for us in the past, the people who work for us now, people who work for us in the future, and everybody that comes through and enjoys it, not just in Omaha, but nationally.
Yeah. I think we that's something I'm just grateful that people like. There's people out there that like what we do, and it's something that, like he was saying, being caretakers, it's something, I think one of the reasons why we bought it from the previous owners in the first place was wanting to keep and honor that tradition, and we're hoping, after we're gone, it'll go on. And it's there's I think a lot of local family-owned businesses, or you're saying, those are I think a lot of the cornerstones of Omaha is the local business community, I think it's what makes a lot of Omaha unique, and so I'm just really grateful we can be part of that too. I would say the people. I really like the Midwest culture growing up here. It's just I think authentic and genuine. People are, I think, generally really kind, and I like the diversity in Omaha. I think Omaha, for being in the middle of the nation, all that, we've got a really beautiful diversity here, and I think that's doing business here. You can really feel that kind of relationship with the employees and with the customers. It's just really fulfilling.
Yeah, I think Omaha is a very inclusive city, great community.
I think Omaha's obviously really growing, and I think Omaha's becoming more diverse, and I think it just with business in the restaurant, it's just it's just been expanding so much. We're having a lot more options. I think people are getting more educated about food, and I think the main thing is just a lot more options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think development around the city is really changing. We're seeing the Midtown core is building up. People are looking back at the old communities and seeing what was there and reinvesting in it, as well as things like the Boys Town Farm, where they're still working out west to make new communities. So Omaha is definitely on a path of growth. So.
And I'm hoping that will be a lot of local, small family businesses. I know it's obviously important to us, but I think that's a lot of what makes Omaha unique. And I hope with that growth, and I kind of see it going that way too. There seems to be with that growth a lot more opportunities for, a new generation of entrepreneurs. So it's kind of exciting. Traffic. You don't have to commute 2 hours from your job, and you don't have to sit in traffic for I lived in LA for a little while, so it's not going to take you an hour. That will take you 15 minutes here. People are generally pretty friendly. It's just I think it's an easy place to live. Just cost of living, and we have great jobs here, a lot of opportunities, and you get all 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So.
I think there's just a lot of good culture around here. good music scene, good art scene. People can kind of do what they want, and it's all inclusive. Nobody's really shutting anything down.
Yeah, I mean, in raising kids here, it's a great city too. There's so much. There's actually quite a lot to do here.
Yeah.
It's a lot of creative, fun things to do with kids. And, it's a good city. A lot of parks. We have a lot of
a lot of beautiful space out here. You're in the middle of the country too, so if you go on a road trip, you're equal distance from either coast.
Save on airfare, move to Omaha. Yeah.
That's the new slogan.